Hi everybody, welcome to the Alaska Sea Life Center. You just tuned in just in time for our daily feeding of Pilot here. Pilot is our sea lion. Our trainer there is Cassidy, asking for different types of behaviors. And Pilot is our oldest male here. We have two other males. One is 5 years old and one is 2 years old. Now, believe it or not, like I said, he is only 10 years old, but he's pretty big. When he reaches full-grown status, he has the potential to get up to 2,500 pounds. Right now, he's coming in about 1,400 pounds. Now, it's typical for this species to start gaining weight during the summer, and they're going to be their heaviest at the summer. But because he still is a growing boy, like I said, we have not reached that 2,500 pound status just yet. We got pretty close to the 2,000 mark last summer. I think we came in about a little close to 1,900 pounds. So we were pretty close, and I bet you anything this summer he's going to break that. So here at the Sea Life Center, we do all kinds of different types of training with our animals. We have 12 animals in-house right now. That can always change. We have 4 Steller sea lions, Pilot being one of them, of course. And we have 4 spotted seals, and we have 4 ring seals as well. And it's pretty fun training these guys. We train them for all kinds of different types of behaviors. Some behaviors, like you just saw, that what we call a breach behavior, and that's just a fancy word for saying a high jump behavior. That's going to be what I like to categorize it as a good exercise type behavior. These guys do swim around a lot during the day, but it never hurts to get some good exercise. So we have some nice behaviors that really kind of see how fast and how well they can exercise there. Now, some of our most important behaviors when we're trying to figure out what to train these guys is what we call husbandry behaviors. And husbandry is basically just a fancy way of saying behaviors that allow us to take care of these guys. And it's our responsibility, because they are in our care, to take the best care of them that we can. And there's all kinds of different behaviors we have trained to help take care of them. For example, asking them to vocalize this bark behavior. That tells me I can hear everything's nice and clear, there's no congestion in his chest, so everything's looking good. It also gives me an opportunity to look inside his mouth so that I can see that everything looks okay. His tongue's looking good, his gums are looking good, and the teeth are looking good. Speaking of teeth, that's one of my favorite behaviors, is toothbrushing. We can actually brush all of our animals' teeth here at the Sea Life Center. Now, I don't know if you got a good look in his mouth. Maybe Cassidy can bring him up again and have that open mouth. But if you can see pretty well, he actually has brownish or blackish looking teeth. Now, you might be wondering, wait, what kind of job are you guys doing brushing that teeth if they're discolored like that? But that's actually normal for a sea lion. What that is that's a natural gel coating that's helping to protect their teeth. So when we're brushing teeth, we're not trying to get that blackish brownish gel off. What we're trying to do is they actually get kind of like a plaque near the gum line, just like us humans, and that's what we're trying to get off when we brush his teeth. And we like to try to brush everyone's teeth at least once a week, if not more. I get the question all the time, do you guys use toothpaste? Well, we could if we want to. We do use an antibacterial rinse that we'll put in his mouth when we're brushing those teeth. And actually, if I can brag a little bit, Pilot's one of the best toothbrushers, and I actually trained that behavior several years ago with him. Now, we have all kinds of different pools here for our animals at the Sea Life Center. So some of the behaviors that we actually train our animals to do allow us to help move them around. You might come to the Sea Life Center and see that Pilot is here in our main exhibit. But you might come a week later and he might not be here in the exhibit. That's because we have so many pools that we get to use for all our different animals that one of the most important behaviors we can train is what we call a voluntary transport. And so basically we'll ask them to go into an apparatus where we can transport them from one pool to another. As you can imagine, having an animal Pilot's size, this apparatus has to be pretty big. And when it comes time to move him, we have to call almost everybody on the husbandry team to help because as you can imagine, he's definitely very big and very heavy. So I'm going to pause for just a second here. If you guys have any questions for me, please type it into your live chat there. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your guys' questions. Our team here will call out those questions to me and I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. Now, Pilot is actually on loan to us from the Harderwijk Dolphinarium, which is an aquarium in the Netherlands. And he's been here since 2011. It's been really fun watching him grow up. He has sired 2 offspring so far. One of them is here. His name is Kuliak. He's the younger one I was talking about earlier. He's our 2.5-year-old. So with these males, people always ask me, does Pilot hang out with Kuliak, being that there's such a great age difference? Well, as you can see, the males get pretty big. And so at a certain point, we actually will have some of our smaller males together, but not with our big guy Pilot. Having said that, we do have a 16-year-old female who hangs out with Pilot quite often, and those two hang out in all kinds of our different areas.
I'm going to finish up here.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have a goodbye here with Pilot. We do several sessions during the day with our animals. It's always at a different time because we want to provide a lot of variety in their daily routine. So we are getting to the end of his session right here. And I hear we do have some questions here. So we'll say goodbye to Pilot. We'll still keep the camera on him for a few more minutes, and we'll answer some of those questions for you. Great question. Is Pilot alone in this exhibit? He is, right now at least. Our other animals, 2 of them are downstairs in one of our other pools, and our female is in the back right now.
How long did it take to train him to brush his teeth?
Oh, great question. How long did it take him to learn how to brush his teeth? That's a great question. People are always asking me, how long does it take an animal to learn a behavior? And there's not one direct answer. And the reason being is because, just like you guys might learn something faster than me, Pilot might learn something faster than one of the other animals. It also depends on how often I can work that behavior. If I get to practice the behavior every single day, chances are he's going to pick it up pretty quick. The other thing that also we have to consider is how difficult is the behavior. If I'm asking him to do a very challenging behavior, it's probably going to take a lot longer to train it. Now, if my memory serves me correct, I think he actually picked it up pretty quickly. I feel like it was only about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe. It's an interesting behavior. It's not a very hard behavior, I feel, but we teach these guys at a very young age not to have their mouth opened at us, because that's the last thing you want them to do is have their mouth opened. So we have to teach him to actually open his mouth, which we spent a long time teaching him when he was younger not to do that. So we kind of have to go back and teach him the opposite. So please open your mouth. And also we have to make sure he really understands that when my hands are near your mouth, the last thing we want is for him to get confused and accidentally close his mouth while my hands are there. And so that takes a little while to kind of get the idea that you never close your mouth as long as my hands are near your mouth. Another question I get all the time too is, what kind of toothbrush do you use? And we just use those toothbrushes. We could use a human toothbrush, but I don't know if you saw, his mouth is pretty big. And so to be able to reach to those far back teeth, we actually use those really long ones that you can buy at the pet store for your dog or cat. Great question. Do we have anything else? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to introduce you to our oldest male Pilot. We do have another live feed on the YouTube channel coming in at 2 o'clock, so please tune in. Thank you so much, and I hope you're having a great day.
All right, for those of you who are still tuned in, we'll be watching Pilot here in the water for just a few more minutes before we shut down the stream. So if you have any other questions about Pilot or the Steller sea lions that we have here at the Alaska Sea Life Center, just let us know, and we'll be happy to answer them. If not, feel free to tune back in at 2 o'clock Alaska time. That is 3 o'clock Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be doing another live session today on YouTube.